What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? His heart was bleeding as he pressed his face against the pane of glass that stood between us, and I watched as his heart bled. Black male, 5'11", black hair cut into an afro, brown eyes, 150 pounds, earring in his left ear. Black male, 6'2", black hair, brown eyes, tattoo of his mother's name on his upper right arm, last seen wearing a gray hoodie. Black male, black hair, brown eyes, scar on his forehead above his right eyebrow, last seen at Bell's Market wearing sunrise Chuka Timbs and a t-shirt that read, "Rest in peace, Jalil and Kim." He would be the #1 suspect. He'd be the perfect subject for them to use as a project to show you how the law serves and protects black boys. Black boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? His heart was bleeding as he looked past the pane of glass that separated us. Black male, green eyes, light brown skin, maybe mixed with Indian. Carries a football in his right hand, says he's gonna be a star someday, get paid, get laid, and someday have a maid. Last seen running Doolittle's field getting ready for football, says it's gonna be treason for his opponents this season. Black male, 175 pounds, junior in high school. Last seen playing basketball on the outside courts by J&J, says one day he's going to be rich, buy his mama a house, play for the NBA, and pay his own way. He wants a Maybach Benz and school all his friends. Black male, brown eyes, cornrows is his hairstyle. Last seen in the school parking lot battling the coldest you ever seen, says he's going to be the next Pop, Biggie, Jay-Z, one of the hottest MCs. He would be the #1 suspect. He'd be the perfect subject for them to use as a project to show you how the law serves and protects black boys. Black boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? His heart was bleeding as he undressed and exposed the bruises on his chest. He placed his hand against the pane of glass that stood between us, and I watched as his soul bled, confused and misled. It was my baby's names in the papers that I read. Andre Burgess, 17 years old, last seen walking past an unmarked police car. He wouldn't walk too far, killed because of his candy bar. William J. Whitfield, last seen in the grocery store trying to buy a meal. He was hungry for real, but his keys he didn't conceal. He just didn't feel that they were such a big deal. Amadou Diallo, last thing standing in front of his apartment in the Bronx, was going to be a world-renowned photographer one day. Before pulling out his wallet he would pay, shot 41 times. That's the price for being black ice. His heart was bleeding as he took his fist and opened up the pane of glass that stood between us. He climbed into my lap, he wrapped his mouth around my head, and then he said, somebody should have done something. Every father should have shouted, every mother should have cried, every grandmother on her knees pleading, every tree should have fallen, every ocean should have erupted, every star should be dim, every child should be sleeping, and the world should have stopped spinning. Every lion should be roaring, every fighter jet soaring, every prayer should be reaching, every car screeching, the river should have stopped flowing, leaves should have stopped growing, fire should be burning, and the wrath of God should be showing. Damage, Donovan, Parkinson, Jones, and Mumia, this place should be set on its ear. Tell its motherfucker up. The time is near. The coast is clear. Can y'all hear me in here? His heart was bleeding, and I watched as his soul let go. Watched the prison walls swallow him whole. See, he was the #1 suspect. He'd be the perfect subject for them to use as a project to show you how the law serves and protects black boys. What the fuck is up? When we talk about pimps and hoes, and I'm confused about this shit because I don't know what the role of a pimp is, right? Me, I feel like this. I got the product. I'm gonna have to know how to use the product, right? So if I feel like this, if a woman, she not, she don't want to do it yet, whatever. She's so uncomfortable about getting out there on the hoe stroll. What you could do is get a pimp. This motherfucker take you through a 2-week orientation.
3 weeks.
And then you through with him. So my question is, what do I need a pimp for? What purpose does he serve with his hands out like he deserves? I work this curve by myself. Lay myself open by myself. Die 1,000 times in darkened alleyways and foreign cars, snatch wallets and run by myself. I feel scared, lonely, and empty by myself, suffer bruises, tears, and scrapes. I endure the psychological and emotional damage all by myself, so what do I need a pimp for? What purpose does he serve with his hands out like he deserves? I get lost by myself, cry in abandoned buildings by myself. I hate myself all by myself, get high by myself, curl up in molded corners and wish I could die by myself, kick and scream by myself, smile in his face, pretend that my body is his and that it wants to let him in. Dreams of college days in simpler ways, fake moans of pleasure while he distorts his face in grunts and groans while I peer at family pictures hanging from keychains, degrading my daddy's name all by myself. I drink by myself. I lost my dance and my spirit all by myself. Went to distance on holidays and birthdays by myself, in pain by myself. Wears this cloak of shame by myself, playing this game by myself. And I know, DJ, I know your story. I know it's hard out there for a pimp. And I know that you would love to whoop this trick. But I already fight myself, beat myself, tear myself down all by myself. So what do I need a pimp for? What purpose does he serve with his hands out like he deserves? I got sick by myself, wept by myself, dealt with God all by myself. So thanks but no thanks, but I'll assume all responsibilities for myself. I collect and keep all my dollars for myself. Hell, I hit my own self in the eye and make myself cry. I can make this stay by myself. I can house myself, denounce myself. I can get mad at myself. I can feed a dream to my own self. So what do I need a pimp for? I do this by myself. Hell, I say cut the middleman out because he got his hands out like he deserves and he got his fucking nerves. Shame, shame, shame. Shame, shame. Shame on it all. He came to this world with death pulsing through his veins, a bitter abyss as he slipped through her hips. As he lay still, there was nothingness and hollowness and emptiness. Death slipped in through his mother's tubes, a consequence of the drug she used. It was her pastime, her crime. She contributed her every dime to be sublime. It was then when I saw death in his eyes. Graduated 8th grade to sidewalk high, he never turned his head once, he never said goodbye. He grew to become a portion of a man. A hustler would be his plan, where he would land, where he would stand. It was his block, his set. Disrespect, and with heat you will be met. Lit like a cigarette, sugar brown skinned in the eyes of hazel hue. A true fool with no clue, selling the very thing his mother fed him through her wound. Shame. He sold the poison of his life. Sharp like a knife, his commodity would slice. Everything he had came with a price. It was more than twice. With his own death, he took a life. It was his device that was so precise. He used his gun for fun, posting bullets of more than a ton, but it would come time for the tables to turn, for the shit to hit the fan, for him to learn he would burn. See, death don't only strike at night, but strikes when the time is right. He was standing alone in a place he called home, working his regular shift, low on paper, had to get his fix. See, Jordan had just come out with some new kicks. It crept up on him so slow, he didn't even know. Blow after blow from his body, life would flow. On his knees, he tried to plead, forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Into the game, I knew I couldn't win. I promised to change. I promised to rearrange. If you just let me live to see a new day, please, Father, don't just sit there and watch me bleed. Lord, hold on to me. If you save me, I'll give up all this shit and what it contains. Lord, just let me remain. What a shame, shame, shame. Shame, shame, shame. Shame, shame. Shame on it all. The story ends just as easily as it began. See, he was someone's child, someone's father, someone's lover, someone's brother. The death of a dead man, his life was over before it began. When he falls, On God's name he'll call. He slipped through the cracks from the love he lacked. It was then when I saw death in his eyes, a bitter, sweet demise. But when is enough enough? He's gone now, but soon another will take his place, and a new face will embrace his space, and he too will be gone without a trace. Playing a game he just can't win. Ooh, I wonder whose hands he's in. As he lay dead in the street. Such a forbidden scene. There was another vacancy, an empty cavity. But who do you blame? What a shame, shame, shame. Shame, shame, shame. Shame, shame. Shame on it all. When he falls, on God's name he'll call. Playing a game he just can't win. Ooh, I wonder whose hands he's in. But who do you blame? What a shame. You say you a poet, so now spit, and this time actually say some shit. Have a lyrical misfit, a spontaneous overflow. Take all those words and mixed feelings and make your souls glow. You a spoken word artist, so now speak. Breathe on the mic, bleed on the mic, give birth to your virgin adjectives. Stand up and bear your bare naked ass soul. You a poet, so now spit, and this time actually say some shit. You and poets, so do what y'all do. Your job is to elevate, educate, initiate, innovate, and motivate. Your job is to be revolutionaries, visionaries, missionaries. Vibrate these halls, make roaches come out these walls, make chandeliers fall, make everything big seem small. Be controversial, be political, be analytical, be critical, be cynical, be the bullet coming from the smoking gun, be old and at the same time be new, be black and blue, be that original hue. If you're a freak, then be that too. Be hip-hop, be the blues, be you. You're a spoken word artist, so now speak like your mouth has a leak. Let all hell break loose in your quiet places. Make it crowded in your empty spaces. Knock a few heads off if you have to, but leave no traces. If you mess up, tell them you forgot. If they get hot, they can leave a spot. Throw flames if you have to. Scream out a few names if you have to. Point your finger and place blame if you have to, but show no shame because that is never you. When expressing yourself, make it do what it do. You a poet, so now spit, and this time actually say some shit. Make him and her fall in love again. Make tears well up in their eyes again. Make their skin crawl again. Make them shift in their seats again. Make men respect men again. Make women love themselves again. Make them scream again. Make them think about it again. Make them hear it again. Make them listen again and do it again and again and again. You're a spoken word artist, so now speak, write, if only your name every day of the week. Recite what's old and what's new. Somewhere in between the lines you might find you. Write because it's your life. Spit because you'll always have a mic. Speak because you might get some small insight into what poetry is really about. You a poet, so now spit, and this time actually say some shit. That's my time. Thank you.